Welcome back to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. Visit us today at andrewroby.com. That's Andrew, R-O-B-Y.com. Or you can always find us at the WBT.com homepage. Trent, before the break, we talked a little bit about wine rooms. Later on the show, we're going to have Rob from the Rhino Market come on and talk about some wines you can get for the holidays, get it before New Year's Eve. But we do a lot of work at the Andrew Roby Company, Trent, for folks who want to build that wine room. They're into wine. They maybe they have 10 bottles, maybe they have 1,000 bottles. We do a lot of work for them. Talk a little bit about how does that process work, and what do you see when people are coming and they want a wine room?
Well, it usually takes place, when folks are renovating their kitchen or doing an interior remodel or doing an addition or even building a new house. I think if you're building a new house and it's a nice house, it's even a good asset to put in a wine room.
Right.
Because that's when you're doing your foundation, or you can put your wine room on your main floor. But we see it with people who drink wine, have dinner parties, and they're doing their kitchen. They first off have to decide how much wine they want to keep on hand, how much they care about it. Because you can buy some really nice wine storage refrigerators and put those in your pantry or something. Do you want to display your wine? Do you not want to display your wine? Do you want to have a glass front for that? So once somebody says, hey, I actually want a space to have a wine room versus a refrigeration unit that you buy off the shelf, or you buy at Queen City TV and Appliance or someplace like that. Then the question goes, do you want to hang out in your wine room? Generally what we see when people do wine rooms, they start off and they go from a $2,000 to $5,000 refrigerator to store their wine to, I'll build a little closet.
Right.
And then they go, well, I want to put a table. And then I was in a wine room this past week for a client we built down below his garage submerged. He had a TV mounted in his wine room, had a table. So if you want to go all the way with the wine room, you submerge it in the ground, you dig a hole, put it down there, and you go vintage style with like a stone or a brick floor. We see a lot of vaulted and arched ceilings, lower ceilings, but they got the curves to them. And people want to emulate the old days back in Europe, but also you still put in an AC unit to cool the wine, but it's not as needed because the temperature below grade, I think, is 55.
Yep, you're down in the
degrees.
basement. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And it's a great point you make. When you're building a home, you really want to plan for these things, and that's really where the Andrew Roby experience comes in, and working with architects, working with designers, to where we can maybe bring that in and start asking those questions. Maybe it's something the client didn't really think about. Maybe they're in the wine a little bit, not too much, but when you come in as an expert on the building side with the design team that we kind of third party with, those are the types of questions you ask to make sure the person gets the home they want before it's built.
Oh, yeah. Nothing hurts worse for me as a builder than somebody really loves their house we built or loves the renovation we did or the addition that we did, and they say, man, I wish I had done this. It's great, but and so, if you drink wine or you like to have dinner parties, it's something to consider. And I really think in the right house, it's an asset. And I talked about putting them submerged below ground. I think that's cool because it gets the cellar feel. If you have enough space to hang out in, so you and your buddies, a couple couples, can go down, taste some wines, have a bottle of wine, hang out for a little while, put a coat on. We also build them. If you want to display your wine, it might not be as much as a functional hangout space, but it might be more of you have a glass wall that faces into the living room or the hallway, right, or something. House we built at the beach for the Berries, a really, really nice home. One of my favorite houses. We've had Mary Ann on the show a couple times. They had a picture of a hotel they liked, I think, in L.A. They liked how they displayed their wine.
Right.
And they basically showed us the picture and said, hey, this is the website for this hotel. This is the picture. Can you emulate this? Can you draw this into our house? And it was one of their 10 things that they wanted this house built around,
right,
this custom home. And we did. And you access it from the pantry side, but it's glass. It's the way the shelving's really cool. You can see a picture of this on our website, but it faces into the hallway and into the family room, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
That is awesome. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Today we're talking about holiday wines, and we're talking about how to get that wine room, some wine storage in your home. If you've been thinking about that, call us today at 704-334-5477, or as Trent just said, go to andrewroby.com. Check out some of the past projects we've done. Find out how we can put one of these in your home. And Trent, what I've noticed, we talked about when people want to build a home, they build it around maybe this wine room. But a lot of empty nesters maybe have kids moving out. They now have some flex space. It gives them the opportunity to renovate some spaces and make maybe not a huge wine room, but a small space. And that's really where Andrew Roby can come in and really help figure out how they can reconfigure the home to fit what their now current needs are.
Yeah, if you just want to, if you just collect wine and you want to be able to go in and see it yourself and catalog it yourself, you can generally turn like a powder room closet or something into a wine room right off of your kitchen. I will say a couple pointers when you're thinking about doing a wine room is the HVAC or the conditioning unit.
Yep.
You have to take that into account. Make sure you do the right thing and go the right path with that. Also, you need to insulate and waterproof. I mean, they can kind of go hand in hand in my mind for a wine room, but you need to make sure that you're not building up condensation behind the walls, and in 5 years you have rotted wood behind the walls because you didn't keep the moisture out and protect the structure correctly. So I've seen some of those mistakes be made. What I like about wine rooms is when people embrace it and they go to the old brickyards and find some vintage brick and some vintage wood, maybe put a couple cool beams in there. People have a lot of fun with the doors on wine rooms. They'll get a busted up old school real thick wood door, right, and put it on it, and then people have fun also with finding cool tables or building cool custom tables with really etched stone tops or something of that nature that's where they open the wine. So there's so many cool aspects you can do with the wine.
It really is neat, and this what you just said is exactly why you want to engage a company like Andrew Roby to come in and help, because it never occurred to me the condensation issue that you might have. You put a little fridge or you put something in there, you run the AC into a closet, and all of a sudden you're pumping so much cold in there you don't think about what might happen down the road. That's a great point.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the last decade, or at least even the last 5 years, in the construction process, spray foam insulation has become very popular. I'm a big fan of spray foam insulation. I do hope that it proves out in the next half century that it's as good as we think it is as an insulator and as a moisture barrier, because spray foam, open cell, closed cell, you can put it and it keeps moisture out as well. So it is a good perimeter for wine rooms, and that's just came about in the last 4 or 5 years versus the old bad insulation. When it gets moisture, it wicks it up and it never dries out.
Right.
So we like spray foam in wine room applications. I'm giving away some of my secrets that are Roby secrets.
All right, that's fine.
But
they're not going to spray it themselves. They're going to call us and get us to spray it for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I think also in a wine room you can have a lot of fun with the hardware. You can go like the Black Hawk hardware, restoration hardware, find stuff that looks vintage and old, strong, heavy hardware. Also, you can do some cool stained glass stuff in your door, or some windows or pictures in your wine room. A lot of people do a stained glass window into their other part of their house from their wine room.
That's awesome.
So.
All right, now Trent, now that we've got how we're going to build this wine room, when we come back, we're going to be joined by Rob Rondelet from Rhino Market. He's right down the street here from the studio in Charlotte on Moorhead. He's going to talk about some holiday wines and champagnes that we can put in that room. So stay with us. You don't want to miss that. You're listening to the At Home with Roby show. Visit us today at andrewroby.com, or you can always call us at 704-334-5477.